Alrighty. Howdy neighbors and welcome to Robot Daycare. I know absolutely nothing about this game, but it's supposed to be us taking care of a tiny robot. And I'm ready to fuck it up. This is... Oh, that... Thank you. Oleander? I don't know what this is. I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? I think it sounds cute. And if all of us work together, it's totally manageable. That's not the problem. I'm worried about this guy overdoing it. What do you mean? If you take care of the programming, most of the responsibility is on you. Neither Strelitzia or I will be able to supervise what code you put in. Not true. I can keep an eye on him. After all, my work only starts once it's already built. Wow, thanks for trusting me. I don't care either way. Do you have any other ideas? Not really. It's hard to think of an assignment that combines all of our fields. See, it's perfect. I'm just glad you'll have to put in the least amount of effort. Yeah, that's gotta be it. Why do you say that? Because it's the truth? It just monitors behavior. Fine. Maybe I'll have less work because I won't have to build it. But that just means I can help you guys more. I've been the errand boy bringing us coffee. Anything for you, darling. Shut up. My sister's a lack of other good ideas. It seems I don't have a choice but to agree on the robot project. Hell yeah! If I get the choice, I want to name the robot Stanley. I'm gonna open a can, hold on. I'm gonna name the robot Stanley. And then we're gonna go on magical robot adventures. Take a sip of your gamer juice. For me today, it is a can of Pepsi. Oh fuck yeah. Let's go to Stanley. I'm ready to come to your senses, Lee. Lie. What about you? Well, if Mr. Pretentious trusts me, I'll program the robot. What kind of robot are we talking about, though? A remote-controlled car. Are you trying to make fun of me? What would be the challenge in that? Not to mention, if it was that basic, I'd really have nothing to do. Isn't obvious that it should be something intelligent? Goodness, excuse me for asking a question. AI robot it is. Now what should it look like? Male or female? Doesn't matter. Just make sure it's not hot. We don't want Stretzy to freak out. My perfectionism won't allow me to create anything that looks ugly. And I hope you won't mind Stretzy's lipstick stains all over it. I don't use lipstick. That's the part you're gonna disagree with. Probably make it look like a child. Stanley! That way it can look cute in Strelitzia. I really don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm so sorry. He'll be able to control himself. Thanks for having so much faith in me. It's all settled, right? Is everyone's task clear? Of course. I will build a cute robot. You'll give it a mediocre personality. And Strelitzia will be distracting us because he's bored. I only would have stuck around to show solidarity. I can leave if it bothers you so much. Good call. Maybe I can finally focus on the work when you're not blasting music. If he's the reason you procrastinate so much. Oh, as if he's the reason you procrastinate so much. You wear headphones most of the time. Then why are you saying Stretzy would distract you? A fire could go off in your room, and you'd still focus on whatever book you're reading. I can't tell if you're fighting for or against me. Oh, being able to stay focused is a negative trait now. If you're gonna neglect everything around you, yeah. We don't even have to build a robot. We could just use you. Enough joking around, guys. Just call me when the robot's done. Robot Daycare! I'm ready Let's make a baby boy! Does it work? Is it working? I feel like we need to save. Just have a feeling. Calm down, will you? I need some time to boot up properly. God, I really wish we could name him. Please let me name him. I want it to be Stanley. Been booting up for several minutes now. You sure didn't mess up. Why would I mess up? Your coding is probably off again. You have no idea how hard coding AI is. I heard it's so hard. Like, props to whoever can do it. Could never be me. Meanwhile, just screwing some metal together, and you think you're a genius or something. Both are very hard. I'll have to see you screw some metal together, if you think it's that easy. Guys, look, the robot's eyes are open. See, I told you to see some time to start up. Whatever, dude. Oh, look at it! Such a Stanley. Oh, wow. Look at him. So, why isn't it doing anything? Or is it my fault nothing is happening? The hardware for talking is built in. Are you saying I'm just the programming it? No, I merely implied it. Hey little guy, say something. Something. I love him. Did you program it to take your table sense of humor? Oh, but quoting memes would be the peak of comedy or whatever. What is memes? It cannot be found in the database. Give Stanley memes! Give him memes! Great, you already corrupted it. Requesting permission to research memes. Permission denied. The little guy asks for permission whenever it wants to learn something. Not exactly. It will only ask for permission when looking up stuff online. Anything it learns through us or through first-hand experience will be saved immediately. I see what a lovely little guy. By the way, doesn't it feel kind of wrong to call it nothing but it? It should respond to anything as long as it can sense that you're addressing it. Give it a proper name. What about Roboy? I'd rather die. Rejected. Cyborg. Double rejected. I don't actually see you guys coming up with ideas. Maybe we call it Lilith. We'll go there. Okay, that's fair. What on earth made you think that that would be an appropriate suggestion? And less is capable of thought. Since you're so capable, I'm sure you've thought up a name by now. I have actually. What is it? It's Stanley! Hold on, let me make sure I spell it right. Let me be stupid real quick, and then I'll do it. L-E-Y. Stanley! Yay! It's Stanley! Yes. Stanley, you sure? I love it! Yes, I'm sure it's Stanley! It's pretty cute. I like it. I don't have any objections. What do you think, Stanley? Stanley will answer to whatever name you see fit. Except Roboy. Hey. That settles it. With his name and the question of whether or not... Like Horace, projected his personality onto it. Better mine than yours. Commit primary call sign to Stanley. That's how you do it, right? Call sign committed, as per Strassi's specification. Oh, sweet. So it can identify us. Yeah, I figured it wouldn't be great if some rando wandered in and sabotaged our project. It recognizes by voice, distinguishes by appearance, and will only follow our orders. It also has log changes based on who made them. Pretty impressive, huh? See how quickly we can break your code. Stanley, who am I? There. I expected it to insult me. What'd you take me for? As we'll be presenting the changelog with the paper, I decided to keep the nicknames appropriate. You made that decision by yourself. What if I wanted a different nickname? If you're asking if you can have it call you its dearest, most darling older brother, I could technically do that. That's not what I'm asking. Hey Stanley. Use Stretzy's secret nickname. Oni. Huh? This is the worst. Stanley, delete that word from your databank. Oni-chan has been deleted. That feels so good. You guys are no fun. This is a college project. We have to keep it professional. Yeah? And that's why you gave it those weird horns. It's supposed to look cute. Stanley detects a tense atmosphere. Should Stanley play some music to lighten the mood? Yes, you should. Aquarius, why did you add that feature? This will calm tunes while we work. Do you have a problem with it? Stanley, play Old Town Road. Old Town Road could not be found in live playlist. Oh, thank God. How about playing some classical music? Very well. Is this to Stretzy's liking? Yeah, totally. Thank you, Stanley. Stretzy is welcome. Isn't that a little too majestic? I feel awkward. Stanley's trying its best. Besides, you're the one who installed the music. Now that Stanley works like planned, are you ready to result test on it? Strelitzia. Of course, leave it to me. Rather not leave it to you. But I don't know anything about psychology, so I don't have a choice. Musical plan, I'm not doing enough, now this. Let's just leave Strelitzia alone with the robot before he makes it download obscure music online. Fine, whatever. Where to start? Empathy testing and language recognition. Stretzy. Or the Turing test, maybe. Oh, what is it, Stanley? What is Lily? Where did you learn about that word? Lai wanted to call Stanley Lily, but Stretzy and Leia objected. Stanley did not recognize it as a negative term. Should Stanley databank be updated? It's not necessary. You ask a lot of questions. Stanley is programmed to learn. Queries are the most efficient method of self-initiated knowledge acquisition. If Lily is a topic that should not be discussed, learning not to ask of it is still learning. Lily, no. Lilium. He lived with us before we built you. Is Lilium Stanley's predecessor? I want to put it that way. Older brother. Definitely not that way. He just isn't here anymore. As in, he vacated the premises. Stanley, pause playback. Thank you. You see, Lilium, he ceased functioning. Was it not possible to repair him? Lilium was a human, so it was not. I guess it'd be unreasonable for me to assume that Lai programmed you with the concept of mortality. Or morality. Does Stanley need to be? Or is it kind of necessary in order for you to understand what I'm about to say? What a babysitter I am. It's not even been 10 minutes, I'm already teaching you about death. See, Stanley. People eventually stop existing. Everyone's life comes to an end sooner or later. Does one know when? Usually they don't have the luxury of being able to accept it, or expect it. One day I'll be able to read. But when it happens, you have to accept it and move on. What makes someone accept it? That's a really tough question. It depends on a lot of things. For example, how much you like that person, or how it happened. Did Stretzy like Lily. Of course I did. He was one of my closest friends. But I don't deserve to be called his. Strelitzia. Can I finally ask why you begged us to meet up? And maybe explain why Lilium wasn't invited. I was just about to tell you. Have a little patience. You've been patient. This is your third slice of cake. But I'll get to the point. I'm just sure how to bring it up. You guys noticed that Lily seems kinda off lately. What do you mean by that? Probably that he's been ignoring his chores like a champ. Well, yeah, that's part of the problem. But what I really mean is Lily seems so distant. And I invited him to join us. I knew he would have declined anyway. He barely leaves our apartment. He barely even leaves his room. You two haven't noticed anything. Now that you mention it, William really has been isolating himself. It's not like him. But there's no reason to slack off on the housework. He's sad or something. Isn't he allowed to catch a break? Is that why you invited us here? Telling us to cut Lilium some slack. That's right. You two kept nagging him. And I want you to leave him alone for a while. Not happening. I get depressed all the time. But you don't see me decomposing in bed and letting others clean up after me. Strelitzia, we can't just let him off the hook like that. We all have certain chores we have to do. If Lilium continues to laze around, we have to tell him off. And if it doesn't help, we'll kick him out. Are you nuts? We can't kick him out. He's our friend. If you want to baby Lilium so badly, you could do that. But Leia and I won't put up with his behavior. Exactly. We can't let this slide forever. It won't be forever. Lily's just in a slump right now. We've all been there before. So just leave him alone for a while. Giving him 1 week. That'll kick his ass. Perhaps don't actually kick his ass, but I'll agree with the 1 week deadline. Like I said, you must start acting like an adult again. Alright then, whatever it takes for you to show compassion for once. We can't all have a big brother complex like you. I don't. Anyway, sure he'll turn back to normal soon. He never became the old Lilium again, though. And it's our fault. Strelitzia, Lai and Leah made Lilium stop existing. Well, I think so, at least. Please elaborate. I couldn't see how deep Lily's suffering actually was, even though he was a friend. Leia and Lai would nag him while I would brush off his sadness like it was nothing. Like a temporary mood swing that would take care of itself. Considering that it's gone now, it was a bit unbearable. He didn't like making other people worry about him. He always kept his problems to himself. And again, maybe his isolation was his way of screaming for help. What Strelitzia said has a little value. It's a bit rude. Blaming oneself for past mistakes serves no purpose unless one learns from them. Who programmed you to be an expert on philosophy? Not philosophy. Logic. Logic is a part of philosophy. I guess you're right. Blaming myself and the others isn't productive. Should be using that energy on positive things. Like you, Stanley. Yes. We're going for tests. Oleander places toolkit on the desk. I want to check Stanley's processing unit since it's louder than it's supposed to be. What's in the box? Your head if you make that reference one more time. What is my equipment, actually? Ah, sure, no fun. Either way, I'm good for now. Feel free to play with Stanley. I'm not going to play. He doesn't take this seriously at all, does he? Well then, let me check up on you, Stanley. Would you... oh. What about Leia like to confirm? Did Strelitzia do anything? Relax. Specificity necessary for meaningful response. What kind of test did he run? None. What? Strelitzia did not officially initiate any tests, so no results have been reported. So he was the one playing around. Cersei and Stanley had an educational conversation. Taught you pop culture references. No. What did you learn then? Stanley has yet to sufficiently process the information. It seemed important to Cersei. He doesn't have the best priorities. So that could be anything. There's just conversation, though. It should have been fully understood and categorized by now. Yeah, that's not good. He's training you so. Let me check your processing unit. The test before you got your personality indicated that there would be no issue. So this time, you need to remain operational while I troubleshoot. Shall Stanley monitor its usage statistics while you work? Yes. Oleander picks up Stanley and puts it on the table. There you go. Articulation seems to be functioning properly. You feel balanced. More so than well standing. Danger of falling from seated position is minimal. Excellent. Record gyroscope readings and initiate dexterity tests. Unbutton your shirt. Cannot complete task. Necessary instructions not found in database. It's a good time. I then need to test visual learning. Watch this. He unbuttons his lab coat as an example. Seal stored. Proceeding to unbutton shirt. Warning. Torso... Circuitry is exposed. Disregard warning. Enter troubleshooting mode. Now let's take a look. Everything appears to be in its place. But again, neither of them have the technical know-how to make any meaningful adjustments. Ooh! You're programmed to be logical. If Lycrius had done his job, you should be more than capable of figuring that out. Actually, hold off on figuring that out. Let me remove your processing unit for inspection first. Stanley, temperature reading on anterior thoracic cavity. 342.15 Kelvin. Oh, he's dead. And non-essential tasks and switch on efficiency mode. Decreasing functionality. Base operations remain active. Stanley's lights dim and the whirring sound of the strained system gradually quietens. Much better. It must be the auxiliary functions using too much power. Oleander pulls out a pair of insulated gloves from the box he brought with him. What's that? Sorry. After putting the gloves on, he flexes his fingers before attempting to remove the processing unit a second time. He succeeds this time. Then the wires tethering it to its recessed slot in Stanley's chest. It doesn't look damaged. And even though it's painful for humans to touch, I don't think we have to worry about you melting. It must be... Lycoris's messy programming. Or... His conversation with Strelitzia has been fully processed by now. Initial interpretation is now complete. How did he initiate the conversation? He did not. Stanley asked a question, and Strelitzia educated Stanley on the subject. I see, then what was the subject? Lilium. Leander's grip on the processing unit tightens suddenly, and sparks fly from the connections. He foams it slightly before carefully sliding it back into Stanley's chest. Sorry, did that hurt? What does hurt entail? Of course, that was a stupid question. I didn't install any pain sensors. Naturally, you wouldn't be hurt. The pain results in hurt. That's the simplest way of putting it. Is there a more elucidating way of putting it? Oh, yes. But you would have to ask Strelitzia about it rather than me. He's the sensitive one. But sometimes I have a feeling he's just pretending. Doesn't actually know that much. Lyra's statement is difficult to comprehend. Please elaborate. Have you noticed that Strelitzia and I behave differently? Yes. Good. Because unlike him, I take things seriously. That means I take pain seriously too. Strelitzia just brushes everything off, like he's blind to other people's pain and suffering. Are pain and suffering connected? Yes, definitely. When you're in severe pain, you're suffering. But you don't always notice it, the suffering of others, I mean. Some people don't want others to suffer because of them. They act stubborn and try to hide it. Is suffering contagious? Somewhat, I would say. It's not like a disease, but seeing someone you care about suffering causes you to also be in pain. And I guess that's why he wouldn't show us or talk to us. Why is there liquid running down Leia's face? Oleander brushed his finger against his cheek, staring at them in bemusement when they came away wet. Bodily harm is not the only source of pain. When your mind is hurt, the pain is called sadness. Sometimes if the pain is strong enough, it will come out from your eyes. But please don't tell the others I did that. Why does the body react if only the mind is hurt? Is there a logical reason? Feelings aren't always logical, no matter how much one hopes they are. That's precisely what makes it hard for AI to understand. Hard does not mean impossible. It is Stanley's duty to learn. Earlier, Stretzy did not produce cheers when speaking about Lilium. Is Stretzy not affected by sadness from Lilium's departure? He is. No, not everyone cries when they are sad or hurt. Many people cry every time they feel that way. It is difficult without Lilium around, and we deal with pain in our own ways. Lilium was also hurt, but we didn't realize how much until it was too late. Did Lilium cry? No, he never gave us obvious cues like that. It annoyed me that he didn't communicate with us. I thought that, if we're his friends, he should have been able to open up. That's why I thought showing some tough love would wake him up. Good morning, Lilium. It's great to come out today. Get away from his door, leave him alone. So now, greeting him is considered harassment. He obviously doesn't want to talk to us, yes. I have a feeling of lonely is going to be a huge... I bet feeling lonely is going to be a huge help for him. That loneliness will make him realize he needs us. He will ask for our help when he's ready. That's as much of a gamble as my method. Except it's a lot more cruel. Respecting people's boundaries is cruel. I'll never understand you. Guys, it's too early for this crap. You're both twisting each other's words. Shut up. And what's your brilliant solution to the problem? You won't get a new answer from me. I think we should call someone and let the pros handle it. I agree with the lie. Great, get the law involved. They only want to break, no more stress. And just tell us you're a professor or something. I'll be legally required to contact the police. Look, I know it's a hassle, but we're clearly not qualified to deal with this. Oh, missed that. Wow. We should let someone else take care of it before it's too late. Too late for what? You're supposed to be the psych major. Oh, that means I understand everything any person has ever dealt with. A friend asked us to leave him alone, so I will do exactly that. He knows what's best for himself. This is running in circles. Both of you are cowards. Felicia, you don't want to get involved. And Lycoris. You just want to put your responsibility onto someone else. But everything Lilium needs is already here, his friends. How deep. Unfortunately, none of us are professional therapists, so we may very well cause more harm than good. Besides, if he really needs us, he wouldn't be pushing us away every single time. Stanley finds it difficult to determine the correct strategy. Tell me about it. Well, it's too late now anyway. But if not even a purely logical thing like you could figure it out, maybe there really was nothing we could have done. Stanley is still saving energy. Perhaps Stanley could solve the problem with more processing power. Not necessary, it's all in the past, so it wouldn't serve any purpose. Besides, I wouldn't want to find out I was in the wrong. That's the more selfish and more important aspect to me. Is selfishness bad? Sorta, yeah. A small amount of selfishness can be healthy. But clearly, I've been too selfish in the past, blaming everything on everyone else for Lily's death. I just couldn't accept the possibility of my behavior being wrong. I didn't even consider it. Stanley cannot classify Leia Stretzi or Lai's behavior as wrong. Stanley suspects that there is no one to blame. No one to blame? Perhaps you're right. Be nice if you would. Leia, why the hell is it naked? What? Stanley's a robot. Robots can't be naked. Hey Stanley, are you naked? Stanley is currently in a state of undress and thus naked. See. Betrayed by my own creation. Hey, we're naked or not? What are you doing? I want to figure out what those processing noises were about and fix the issue. Wow. By disabling some unnecessary features. You're trying to shuffle a little too hard, am I curious? I know, I'm such an ass. How dare I want us to get a good grade? I'm just trying to offer constructive criticism. Yeah? Then what's the condescending tone for? It's like you're constantly nagging, you know. And you're a pleasant little angel or what? I'll admit, I get irritated easily. But you seem to be in a foul mood regardless of what's going on. Nothing is ever right for you. Stop acting like you're the only one who's having a hard time. Hey there, what's going on? Why are you yelling? I'm gonna get started on you. I'm always stepping in so you can seem like the good guy. But you'll talk shit behind our backs anyway. I don't think we should be swearing in front of Stanley. It's a fucking robot. I made it. For all you know, I could have installed any imaginable slur into it. All of us know it's really... Oh, all of us know what you're really like. Your performative kindness is completely useless here. Okay, so I'm assuming Leia was minding his own business, and you just started drama out of nowhere. Pretty much. Doesn't that get old after a while? What's your problem, like Chorus? Why are you acting like this? What's that sound? Shut up, what's that sound? Construction work. Don't avoid my question. What construction? It's past midnight, we're the only ones here. Guys, where's Stanley? Sitting on the table just a second ago. So last swearing scared it off, after all. Get over yourself. Suddenly strange droplets start to appear on the floor. Some splatters even land on the guy's shoes and pants. Confused, the young men try to figure out where they were coming from. Once they look around the corner, both Stanley's location and the metal noise of origin finally became clear. Stanley was standing next to the table and repeatedly bashing its head against it. On closer inspection, it seems to be purposefully aligning its face with the edge of the table. One of its artificial eyes was already beaten to a pulp, and blue liquid containing clumps of plastic and metal were flowing out of the now empty socket. With each thrust, more tiny pieces were scattered about. But that does seem to bother Stanley. It's busy making the other eye match the same fate. As the mass on its head was getting stickier, its movement was gradually slowed down. Is it hard to move because it keeps getting stuck? Or is it losing power? It's difficult to tell. What is it doing? I didn't program that in. It's not my fault. Just stand there, do something about it. Strelitzia pulls Stanley away, firmly hugging it to prevent it from causing more damage to itself. But even though it has nothing to hit anymore, it continues doing the same motion. Oleander tries to stop it with force, but the small robot seems to be more powerful than expected. Stop, there's no reason for you to. Tears. No! What? Lycoris winces, and two black holes filled with mushy blue residue glance up at him. Stanley was taught Stanley was taught that sadness causes humans to cry. So after Stanley heard you guys arguing for so long, Stanley wanted to replicate tears. Who taught you that, Stanley? I might have accidentally. What on earth did you do it for? Leia cried in front of Stanley. Hey, I told you to keep that a secret. Stanley isn't programmed to follow orders strictly, but to find ideal solutions. Telling them seemed to be the best course of action. Sounds fake, but okay. What are you implying? Implying it, you fucking faked it. Rubbing water in your face or something. Slow down with your conspiracy theories, will you? You really think he'd do that on the off chance that he'd use it against us somehow? Oh, what a classic. In the end, you two always team up against me. It's always been like that, isn't that right? Hey, watch what you're doing. I could have dropped my cake. Whatever. I gotta get out of here. What's wrong? Sexual heating being weird again. Yeah, right. As if it isn't obvious. Don't tell me you had an affair with Lily. I told you to leave him alone. Your negativity is really the last thing he needs right now. I can't just let him live like that. You've been inside his room. Oh, have you been inside his room lately? It looks and smells horrible. Come on, lie, you're overreacting. You're not his mom. Maybe we should actually get his mother over here so he can start doing something for a change. Lia already tried getting him to snap out of it. He just keeps repeating, you don't understand me. We really don't understand him, but a professional might, you know. We had this conversation a million times already, Lie, and we decided against it. You and Leia decided against it. I don't get why you keep denying how serious this is. This isn't normal, he needs help. You're so worked up. Get some fresh air and cool down. I'll go talk with Lily. At least you've given up on ignoring him. I wasn't ignoring him. I wanted to be left alone. Whatever lets you sleep at night. Go on, talk to Lilium. Keep on hoping for a miracle that won't happen. Dealing with this is seriously exhausting. Maybe a walk will help me get my mind off things. Because Leia isn't back yet. Oh, it's just he left his cake in front of Lily's room. Hey, you okay in there? I want to apologize for lashing out at you earlier. Come on, don't sulk. I didn't mean anything I said. It's just he left you a cake. Why don't you try a bite? I'm gonna bring it in, alright? Lily, I gotta say, you're being kinda childish right now. Just let me in. I promise I won't scold you anymore. Hey, are you okay in there? Lily, please answer me. I have no other choice. Sorry to come in like this, but you're here. What the hell is this joke? Lycra spots a note on the Liam's table. To my dear friends. Oh no! Oh fuck! I'm sorry that this is all I leave you with, but I can't take this anymore. Just don't worry about me. I'm at a much better place now. Lilium. What? So this was your solution? No way, why would you? I will. I forgive myself. I had it all wrong. It's obvious to me now. That fight Lilium and I had was clearly the last straw. Had I been more understanding, it wouldn't have ended like this. But I blamed you guys instead of facing my mistake. You're not the only one. I think all three of us are guilty of that. I'm sorry, I won't mess up again. Stanley's our new friend. This time we can make things right. You're right. We have an assignment to work on. Dwelling on the past won't give us good grades. Neither will his awful injuries. Can't believe we let that happen. Good thing only his eyes were damaged. Considering I have some spare parts, this will only take a few minutes. This is better. How do you feel, Stanley? Stanley does not feel any different. However, the ability to see has been restored. Maybe we'll get a passing grade after all. Not so fast. Strelitzia still hasn't done anything, so we have nothing to hand in. Pragmatic as always, but I guess you're not wrong. What are you supposed to do, though? Teach Stanley about the power of friendship. I dare say that would be a scientific breakthrough. Hey Stanley, do you know what friendship is? The definition is not in Stanley's databank. Should Stanley look it up online? Really? You're making a robot with your friend and didn't bother to program. Never mind, positive vibes. There's something else. Stanley, how do you feel about us? Stanley does not know the answer to this question. Stretzy, Leia, and Lai are Stanley's creators. Is there something similar to creators in your databank? Synonyms for creator found, inventor, founder, god. Kind of like that. Obviously not. Stanley, please continue. Maker, producer, parent. Parent, that's it. Three of us are like Stanley's parents. Isn't that right, guys? I feel a little too young to call myself a father. And I certainly haven't been a good one to Stanley so far. Besides, wouldn't that be implying that I married the two of you or something? Dude, it's not that deep. We all came together to create something beautiful. It's only natural that we call ourselves as parents. Why are you looking at me like that? I've got shivers. Such an amount of sappiness is horrifying coming from you. How you actually managed to say that out loud is beyond me. It's because you watches too much anime. You're the one who was talking about the power of friendship earlier. I think you're trying to sound like an anime protagonist. Stanley does not know what an anime protagonist is. Is it important information connected to being a parent? Strelitzia and Lygaris start laughing, while Oleander tries to keep a straight face. He can't help but let out a snort. Stanley is waiting for confirmation. There is no correlation. Please forget we mentioned anime. Not so fast. Maybe watching anime will help it understand what friendship truly means. For example, there's this one episode of Lucio where... Please don't make me regret this already. Fine, I had my fun. Miss Stanley, how do you feel about us being your parents? Does that make Stanley your child? The three of them were taken back by the question for a moment. Honestly, can that thing get any cuter? Stanley's not a thing. At least not anymore. He's our little boy now. Who says Stanley's a boy? Stanley does not have a set gender. So what does that mean? You could pick one for you. Using it to refer to you seems kind of dehumanizing. It's not a human. You know what I mean? Stanley will react to any pronoun Leia, Strutzy, and Lai choose. How woke. I didn't expect you to program that in, like Warriors. I didn't know what you'd make Stanley look like. It's not that I tend... Oh. Not like I tried being politically correct or anything. I don't think it's possible to act tsundere about being called woke. But seriously, which pronoun should we use? I think Stanley would be they. We're going with they. Yeah. Fine by me. It's not like this changes how we treat them. Sorry for that. I was a yawn. My apologies. I'm very tired. Did Stanley yawn correctly? No. In the business, call that a scream. Oleander is just weird. I inherited it from my father. I can't help it. Considering all of the things we did and talked about today, I think it would be fair to call it quits for now. Yeah, I'm beat. I bet Stanley is feeling tired too. Stanley's energy is currently at 47%. Okay, maybe it's not that hard. I think we should all go to bed anyway, including Stanley. But they don't have a bed. So we're calling it our kid. It would be weird if we put them to sleep on the floor next to a power outlet. And why don't we let Stanley sleep in your bed, Leia? Pardon? Wasn't that what you were suggesting? That is ridiculous. Stanley would prefer charging while being cushioned by a mattress for increased safety. just gonna say no to your stupid little boy's child. Dots. I suppose I have no choice. Good night, you two. Good night. Dots. Oh, you're gonna say back. No, good night. We kinda learned how to be nice and polite to each other, huh? Last time we exchanged good nights and good mornings was when Lily was still around. True, I guess. Enough of that already. No more getting all sentimental in front of Stanley. Yeah, we know how that turned out. I prefer not having to fix them in such a manner ever again. Stanley apologizes for the aforementioned malfunction. Anyway, guilt washes over them, sending them into silence for a while. You don't have to apologize, it's not your fault. Just go recharge now, okay? Stanley understands. Leia, please take Stanley to bed. Oleander involuntarily forms a tender smile as he takes hold of Stanley's tiny hand. It isn't giving off any heat, but he feels his heart warm up regardless. Often, good night for real now. Sleep well, you two, or in Stanley's case, charge well. Let's just call it sleep for simplicity's sake. Why don't you sit on the bed already, Stanley? I'll fetch your treasure from the supply box. Affirmative. Oleander digs through the various cables inside the box while Stanley attempts to climb up his bed. But unfortunately, something wrong. The bed is too high for Stanley to climb up. Stanley requires assistance. Sorry, Stanley, I didn't even think about your height. Give me a second, alright? Setting timer for 1 second. Leia, it is time to help Stanley onto the bed. Is that what I meant by doing a second? What did Leia mean then? Figure of speech basically means that you have to wait a little bit before someone has time for you. Understood. How long is a little bit? Definitely more than 1 second. I'd say a minute, maybe. Stanley has saved the duration of a little bit as 1 minute in the database. Good enough. I have your charger now, so you don't have to wait anymore. Oleander tucks the charger under his arm and walks into Stanley, lifting them up carefully and placing them on the left side of his bed. Thank you for the assistance, Leia. You're welcome, Stanley. And Leia smiling. Because I'm happy. What is making Leia happy? Simple. You are. How is Stanley making Leia happy? Just by being here, I'd say. They're cute. And cute things make me smile. They're also kind of my child. It feels nice to have something to protect. Stanley is glad to make Leia feel positive emotions. I'm not strong enough for all this wholesomeness. She recharge and I should sleep. Let me tuck you in. Oleander instructs Stanley to lay their head down on the pillows. He plugs one end of the charger into the power outlet next to the headboard, and the other end to the port hidden underneath Stanley's shirt collar. Afterward, Oleander takes a soft blanket from the foot of the bed and tells his robot child in lovingly. Are you comfortable like this? Stanley is cushioned properly. Risk of external damage while charging is minimalized. Satisfied with the reply, Oleander gets up and changes into his pajamas to join Stanley. Once under the same blanket, he begins to think back on everything that happened this day. Stanley recommends choosing standby mode, or turning the system off for more effective charging. Or he can do that by himself. Aquarius should have included that functionality. Wait, I'm nagging again. This is going to be hard to unlearn. Why does Leia wish to unlearn nagging? It expresses negativity and makes others feel frustrated or sad. Well, you know what being sad can lead to by now, right? Sadness can lead to tears, hurting oneself, and that's enough. I don't actually want to know. Noted. Is Leia ready to change Stanley's mode for effective charging now? Oh yes, of course. Give me a second. Timer for 1 minute set. My bad, I'll do it right now. Oleander sits up straight in the bed and shifts his upper body so he can slide the blanket off of Stanley. He unbuttons his shirt enough for a standby and the power button to be accessible. Instead of pressing one of them, Oleander finds himself lost in thought again. This is Stanley. I just really want to apologize for what happened earlier today. Please specify which event Leia was referring to. When you tried to cry. It's my fault you even thought of doing that. And it's also partially my fault you were sad. So that is what I want to apologize for. You accept my apology, Stanley. Leia has nothing to apologize for. Stanley appreciates getting a chance to learn what it means to experience sadness and happiness. Stanley feels happy now. It's nice that you can gain something positive from all this, Stanley. I think we all did in the end, even if the circumstances were rather rough. But in some way, he also taught us something. Because Leia is certain, Stanley was built to learn, not to teach. Considering that we made you, it's odd to think that you could teach us anything new. Without you, Lycoris, Strelitzia, and I probably would have never forgiven each other. We probably would have never realized what we needed. That it's what we owe to Lillian. Stanley is happy to help their parents. Parents, huh? Still feels unusual. Anywho, for now we can finally sleep. Can I turn you off, Stanley? Yes. Alright then. Leander's finger hovers over Stanley's power button. Good night, Stanley. Good night, Leia. Stanley recommends sleeping for at least 7 hours for a proper rest. I'll try. Finally, the power button is pressed and Stanley shuts down. Oleander can't help but smile at the mix of emotions he feels as he lays down again. Closer to Stanley than before. Good morning, Stanley. Can you see everything properly? S. Stanley, no! Good morning, Leia. Running visual check. Please stand by. Stanley's vision is at 100%. It's good to hear. Let's run a quick mobility check, too. Let me lift you off the bed. Affirmative. Oleander carefully lifts Stanley up and lets his feet settle on the ground before him before letting go completely. Does your body feel balanced? Can I let go? The gyroscope is fully balanced. Leia can let go of Stanley with no risk of damage. Alright, there we go. Stanley, perform standard mobility check. Affirmative. Stanley begins to move all their body parts one after another, starting by rolling their head and finishing by taking a few steps on the spot. Mobility check complete. Stanley's body is at 100% functionality. Great. I'm glad yesterday's incident didn't leave any traces on your hardware. Stanley recommends a software checkup. Lycoris said that he wanted to do that earlier, actually. I suppose it does make sense, especially now that you're suggesting it too. Earlier. Lycoris and I had breakfast together while you were still asleep. Or turned off. That was the first time we ate together willingly, and what feels like forever. It was a welcome change. Leia is smiling. Does that mean being alive makes Leia happy? Don't go that far. But we do get along significantly better than before. Oh yeah, we should move it. Stretzy is her husband quadruple texting me saying he's tired of waiting for us. I see you being so impatient. I see he feels awkward around all the couples in the park. Our arrival will make it less awkward. Don't ask me. Good morning, Lottie. Good morning, Stanley. You doing alright? Stanley's hardware functionality is at 100%. However, a software checkup is recommended. Just like I said. Leia has informed Stanley about your suggestion. Oh. Awkwardness detected. Should Stanley play music to ease the mood? No thanks. I'll give you a checkup this evening, okay? Stanley has set a reminder for software maintenance at 18 o'clock. For those that don't know, that's 6 o'clock p.m. Can we do it a little late? What's the student look for? You shouldn't teach Stanley your worth ethic, or lack thereof. Okay, Mom. Anyway, we head out before Stretzy died of loneliness or something. Lycoris and Oleander quickly slip their shoes on and walk a short distance to the park close to the campus. Stanley walks between them, holding a hand at each of their dads. For safety purposes, both had said. Took you long enough. I thought it was going to grow roots. Good morning, Stretzy. Good morning, Stanley. But no good morning to you two for making me wait. You could have just had breakfast with Leia and me, you know. Then you wouldn't have had to wait the ungodly amount of. Everybody pulls out his phone to check the time. 24 minutes. A very long 24 minutes. Stanley has categorized 24 minutes as a long period. It's not long at all, delete that. Stanley has deleted the aforementioned categorization. What matters is that we're all here now, though. That's right, we have an urgent matter to discuss. Why is Stanley still wearing that boring oversized button-up shirt? My apologies, I forgot about the huge collection of toddler clothes readily available in my room. Then why did you give them clothes in the first place? Unless robots naked anyway. You're way too worked up about fashion here. Stanley, do you feel comfortable in that bed? The shirt is sufficient at hiding and protecting Stanley's central panel, so Stanley feels comfortable. But wouldn't you like something a little cuter, or cooler, whatever style you're into? Stanley does not understand what stress he is talking about. You're not alone. I don't think Stanley cares about what they're wearing, stress ski. I have to admit though, more fitting clothing would look good for Stanley. See? I get it. I mean, wouldn't actual clothing for children make Stanley appear more like a human child? And that's what we're trying to achieve with this project, is it not? So it's officially turned into a parenting assignment. You two are way too into this. Leia and me agreeing on something. Seems like the day is getting back on track after all. You look awfully self-satisfied. Something wrong with that. Please, not in front of the child. Not in front of the children. So Stanley, how do you feel about buying some new clothes for you? Stanley will partake in any activity their parents tell them to. I just sound like we're forcing it. For their own good. And that's what being a parent is about. I hate... No! But before we go, I have a little present for you, Stanley. What if it's a present? I'll show you. There we go. So a present is a blue hat. Not quite. The thing someone buys or makes for someone else. You don't want people to look at you weird or shopping. That's why I bought this hat while Lai and Leia were having breakfast. I went shopping just so you could do more shopping. Don't tell me you're actually surprised by that. Why would people look at Stanley weird? I was worried people might comment on your horns or something. They are antennae and they're cute. I'm not sure if the public will agree. This place is safe, right? Stanley is grateful for the present. It helps him stay safe. You're absolutely welcome, Stanley. Now let's get moving. This is where I usually buy my clothes, but I think there's also... Oh, but I think they also have a kids section. Maybe, like Orius, we'll find something that fits him there. That was uncalled for. So I think the most important thing we need is a pair of pants. Those robot joints are a dead giveaway. Really? These are the first thing that you can think of. Not say their eyes that glow in the dark. Okay, well, let's put sunglasses on our list. Red shoes or a jacket. We got it. Let's not forget what we came here for, a proper shirt. Do we really have to do that? I thought you were on board. Yeah, but I think the oversized shirt looks kinda cute. Fine, as long as we find the other things, Stanley will look awesome anyway. You better look like a fucking mess. So Stanley, what's your verdict? Oh no! Now, Stanley has no particular opinion. I do. Stanley looks like every cool kid that's ever bullied me. Stanley is a bully. Stanley recognizes bully as a negative term. Awaiting instructions. No, you're fine just the way you are. You don't have to change your appearance for anyone. You really have the nerve to say that right as we're shopping because of you. I just want to be worth something. I don't care about the details. What do you want to look like, Stanley? Stanley has no preference, yeah. As you learn more, you'll develop your own tastes, and you can choose how you want to look. Welcome them with the ability to do that. No, at least not specifically for stuff like fashion. Stanley's capable of acting differently based on past experiences, so who knows what they can do. You should know! Or maybe Australia can figure that out as well. It would certainly look good on our report. And I almost forgot that we built Stanley for educational purposes. Stanley exists to learn, not to educate. Why not both? I want neither. But I won't be able to force Stanley now exists for themselves. Stanley does not understand. You will, in time, if you raise your will. Based on recent data, Stanley predicts Leia has the capacity to be a good parent. As to Stretchy and Lie. Aw, thanks. Hopefully one day you don't need to analyze the data. You'll just be able to trust us. It's just not built on data. It's a feeling that can be based in fact, but after enough positive experiences with someone, it becomes intuitive. So you don't consciously think about your shared history anymore. Do Stanley's parents trust each other? Nobody answers Stanley immediately. It wouldn't be incorrect to say yes, but it wouldn't exactly be true either. They look at each other, unsure how to judge the atmosphere, before Oleander places a tentative hand on Stanley's head. Trust could be broken, but it can also be rebuilt. Either way, let's get you home. And Stanley holds Stretchy's hand. What? Stanley held hands with Lai and Leia while walking here. Therefore, Stanley should hold hands with Stretchy on the way back. Cute! Stanley's concerned about you, Sterlitzia. Stanley concluded that it would be fair. Concerned about his feelings, at least. Hey, he's just jealous because I have a feeling. Before Sterlitzia could finish that sentence, he stopped by a small tug at his waist. Looks down at Stanley and lets go of his shirt, extending a small hand up toward him. I love Stanley! Sterlitzia smiles and takes it in his, the middle of their palm pleasantly warmed by sunlight. They take a step before pausing. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I know. That is one thing. Stanley leads Sterlitzia over to Oleander and tilts their head up at him. The effect is somewhat ruined by Stanley's swanky new shave. The Oleander remembers the lifeless stare of empty eye sockets and sides. Among other things, Lycoris is knowledgeable about. Nice save. Maybe we should try laying off those kind of jokes, for Stanley's sake. I can handle some teasing, but we should set a better example for our kid. That's something we can all agree on. Stanley will continue to offer solutions to conflict if so desired. We're happy if you're happy. Is Stanley happy? Maybe we need to put this a different way. Do you feel like implicating tears again? Sterlitzia and Lycoris wince at the reminder, but Stanley looked perfectly still as they processed the question. No, Stanley does not possess the urge to do so. Is there a reason behind the urge just absent, or is there something else there? Stanley feels the opposite. Hell yeah! That's what I wanted to hear. Sterlitzia squeezes Stanley's hand lightly as the four of them start heading back home. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you later.